The story of a man who sold cups for sale. Once there was a peddler who sold cups, but he was not like an ordinary peddler carrying his wares on his back. He carried them on top of his head. First, he had on his own checkered cup, then a bunch of gray cups, then a bunch of brown cups, then a bunch of blue cups, and on the very top, a bunch of red cups. He walked up and down the streets, holding himself very straight so as not to upset his cups. As he went along, he called, "Cups! Cups for sale! 50 cents per cup!" One morning, he couldn't sell any cups. He walked up the street and he walked down the street calling, "Cups! Cups for sale! 50 cents per cup!" But nobody wanted any cups that morning, and nobody wanted even a red cup. He began to feel very hungry, but he had no money for lunch. "I think I'll go for a walk in the country," he said, and he walked out of town slowly, so as not to upset his cups. He walked for a long time until he came to a great big tree. "Ah, that's a nice place for a rest," he said. And he sat down very slowly under the tree and leaned back little by little against the tree trunk so as not to disturb the cups on his head. Then he put up his hand to feel if they were straight. First his own checkered cup, then the gray cups, then the brown cups, then the blue cups, and on the very top, the red cups. They were all there, so he went to sleep. He slept for a long time. When he woke up, he was refreshed and rested. But before standing up, he felt with his hand to make sure his cups were in the right place. All he felt was his own checkered cup. He looked to the right of him, there's no cups. He looked to the left of him, there's no cups. He looked in the back of him, there's no cups. He looked behind the tree, there's still no cups. Then he looked up into the tree. On every branch of the tree sat a monkey. On every monkey was a gray, a brown, a blue, and a red cup. The peddler looked at the monkeys. The monkeys looked at the peddler. He didn't know what to do. Finally, he spoke to them. "You monkeys, you!" he said, shaking a finger at them. "You give me back my cups!" But the monkeys only shook their fingers back at him and said, This made the peddler angry, so he shook both hands at them and said, "You monkeys, you give me back my cups!" But the monkeys only shook both their hands back at him and said, Now he felt quite angry. He stamped his foot and he said, "You monkeys, you better give me back my cups!" But the monkeys only stamped their feet back at him and said, By this time, the peddler was really very angry. He stamped both his feet and shouted, "You monkeys, you must give me back my cups!" But the monkeys only stamped both their feet back at him and said, At last, he became so angry that he pulled off his own cup, threw it on the ground, and began to walk away. But then, each monkey pulled off his cap. And all the gray cups, and all the brown cups, and all the blue cups, and all the red cups came flying down out of the tree. So the peddler picked up his cups and put them back on his head. First his own checkered cup, then the gray cups, then the brown cups, then the blue cups, and on the very top, the red cups. And slowly and surely, he walked back to town calling, "Cups! Cups for sale! 50 cents a cup!" And that was the end of the story.